Yo, what's going on, guys? So we're back finally with another YouTube video. Hope you guys enjoy these type of videos here. Um, as you've seen from the thumbnail itself, I just want to fix this camera a little bit better. Yeah, so as you see from the thumbnail itself, I'm just pretty much doing a video about the difference between a merchandiser at Coca-Cola and a driver merchandiser. So it's gonna be pretty straightforward. First and foremost, I'm gonna just dive right into the pay because a lot of people always ask in the comments from my older videos, what's the pay like? So I'm just gonna go off of my pay, okay? So by the way, for the record, I haven't been on the merchandiser side, but I can kind of break it down to where um you can get an idea of what it's like. I've been here 3.5 years. I've had three different positions. So I've been a trainee, a merchandiser trainee, CDO merchandise trainee, or non-CDO starting out. Then I went and got my license, and I became just a CDO merchandiser, which is pretty much um, a person with a route, right? So first year, we're just gonna first year. So I did get a route the first year, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, my pay was real low when I first got into the company. When I first got into the company, I was getting 165 a day plus extended overtime. Those who don't know extended overtime, it's something that you have to look up to understand it better. But overall, you get the day rate, then you also get the extended overtime as well. So breaking it down this way, let's do, for instance, my very first year, right? Between having a route, uh, my pay went from the 165 a day as a trainee. I got a route. My pay went to one. I pulled up checks though just to look at some. I think this is correct, like for a fact. 215, right? So 215 a day. So 215 a day from that 165. That's me having a route. Now, of course, this did change throughout the year because actually, I don't even know if it changed throughout this year. I think it changed the following year. That's where we went to like a commission based standpoint. So we went from what we're doing now to commission. So then at that point, that's where my pay went down. My pay actually went from that to the 140 a day. It went to the 140 a day because we started getting paid 25 cents a case. So where I was grossing, like I'll just find a random day and just pull it. So no, it was the same year. I see it now. It was the following year after I got the route. So yeah, technically the same thing. So I went from 165 as a trainee to 215 with the route. Then we threw out the whole day rate and we went day rate plus commission. So from there, I was getting 140 a day plus 25 cents a case. Now, before all this changed, just pull up a regular check. I was averaging right around. This is a good estimate because we get extended overtime. Extended overtime, like I said, is very hard to understand. It's more like a halftime. Like for instance, the more hours you work, the less your hourly rate is for overtime. It's not like times and a half at all. Okay. So here I made $1,207. That was like an average gross. That was before commission and everything. So take out taxes and everything like that. You're gonna be sitting roughly around $1,000. Um, eventually I went to the whole commission standpoint. So here I started averaging around, this is like summertime. Summertime you're gonna get some heavier loads. So I was looking at like 13.59 here between commission and that. Like I said, it's 25 cents a case plus your 140 a day. So you're guaranteed the 140 a day loads come to work 5 days a week. And then however much you take off the truck, that's what you were getting paid for, 25 cents a case. Then you have a higher one where I was right at $1,500 for the week. So these numbers are kind of realistic. It depends on what area you're at. This is Coca-Cola United. I'm not sure how the other plants do it. They may do straight hourly, they may do commission. This is just me giving you an idea. Okay. So as a driver, because I was on the truck the whole year pretty much, right? My biggest checks were around that much, $1,500. You get quarterly bonuses. I think they're like a couple $100 as long as you don't have any accidents and you don't miss any days, which is not hard to do, right? Pretty much getting money for coming to work and just driving safe. So at the end of the first year, December, I brought in a total of $66,000, 66,804 dollars. That's not bad. Um, so the next year was where I moved up. I was able to move up. Let's see, this is 2024, and I want to say I moved up right around August or something like that. No, I still see the same number, so I'm gonna keep finding it. Let's go to October. I think October is when I had my time. All right, October. Here it is. So I moved to the senior relief. I got off the truck. Basically, I was in the large store department. I would start off in small store, went to the large store, be like an entry level supervisor, relieve guys off their route. So here's where the difference comes in. Remember, I just told you as a CDO driver, I was on a truck. As a senior relief, we're more over the merchandisers. Okay, so the merchandisers, they drive their own cars. They pay mileage, which is really nice. And you just go to grocery stores and you work the product in the grocery stores. It's a very easy job to do. Um, I will say the 165 sounds a little bit more accurate for those with the route. I believe they got paid maybe like 185 with the route. It's kind of hard to pinpoint, but the big kicker is, they get paid mileage. So mileage for them is 70 cents a mile. So you got to think about it. That's a lot of money depending on how many miles you drive. Let's say you're an average. Let's say you're averaging. Let's just do a calculation, right? Let's see, 70 cents times. We'll just start off low. 850 miles per month. It's $595 tax free due to the program that they're on. Everything that goes straight into your account. Uh, once a month, along with you getting paid every week. So that's something to think about when it comes to, you don't have to worry about the truck. You also just work product that's being dropped off by a driver. The product's already there. You just have to work it. Granted, it's a lot more product than what you're used to on small store. Small store, you're averaging 500 cases on the truck per day. Go to large store side, you're looking at a couple hundred cases per store. And like Walmart, stuff like that, you're getting 500-600 cases sometimes. And that Walmart gets a truck 6 days a week. So there are its advantages to it, right? Um, I don't really have to talk about where I'm at now because I'll save that for another video. Right now, I'm on salary though. I'm a salesman, and like I said, that's for another video to talk about. So the main key differences here is right. So you have to decide like if you're that person who's kind of on the edge about getting on the truck. A great place to start would be merchandiser, right? The pay sounds a lot lower. Um, I'll tell you, like friends, I'll tell you where I'm at for the end of 2024, right? End of 2024, I ended the year at $72,954. This is a mixture of the senior relief role and the commission role. I mean the driver with commission. So about $73,000. Okay, that is how much I made in 2024. Now, of course, 2025 looks all crazy because I was senior for like 3 more months into the year, and then after that, I've been on straight salary ever since. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint it, right? But merchandisers, just to break it down, you drive your own car, right? You travel throughout your area, your territory, depending on where your plant is, and you just go in, work your store, you greet, you check in with management at these stores, you work your stores, you go to the next one, you work it. Of course, there is a trainee side. With trainee, you're pretty much filling in for when someone's off. Also, you might be paired up with another merchandiser to go help someone at another store. So, in addition to having a senior relief, which was what I was, you would have somebody sometimes there with you if you're on a route, or if you're a trainee, you'd be going to help someone on the route, like vice versa, whatever. And you'll be able to at least get that little bit of feel of like what it's like to be in there, touch the product, work the product, learn all the stores, and that's an advantage, right? Because when you're a trainee, the longer you're a trainee, the more you learn because you learn everybody's route, not just one person's route. Same thing with a CDL driver. The only difference is you're looking to get your CDL at some point, right? Uh, for instance, I think I was on the truck for 6 months, and then the whole regulation passed where you had to go through the school. I went through the CDL school about 5, 6 months in, and the whole time I had already been running the route that I was assigned to later on. So it helped me out. So I learned the route. Unfortunately, I didn't get to learn everyone's route like the average trainee would, but it's fun because in the end, I learned I learned that route, and then ended up learning a new position. I learned how to drive a 53 foot trailer. In addition to what I was already driving, I think it's like 32, 33s, or I don't remember, 34. I don't remember the exact lengths anymore. But I got to get all this knowledge and all this training, so now I can drive pretty much anything. And then after that, I came back to the small store side after being on the large store for a little bit. I was on the large store for 6 months, and then I came back, got promoted again, and that's where I got the tablet. Now I'm pretty much off the truck completely. I'll doubt I'll ever be on a truck in this position. And so my next step is to look at management, like upper management, which would be area manager, key account manager, something like that, business development manager. Honestly, for me, I would love to get into marketing. I'd love to get into the videos and whatnot. Obviously, I do it a lot now. But if you wanted to break it down closer for this whole experience, when I'm seeing this position now and I'm seeing like these new guys come in, I prefer if it was up to me, I would prefer someone start in the large store department. Uh, the money does sound different, of course it does. But you start off large store department, you learn attention to detail, you get more time. It's a little bit more slower pace in large store because you got so much time to work these bigger orders, and then you also learn more product. So when you also learn brand order pretty fast, you learn a lot of different things that you want to learn as fast on small store. Small store it has attention to detail, but it's more about speed. Large stores are more about um, less speed, more attention to detail. So you have to be prepared to sacrifice one or the other when you decide to transition to the other side of the company. Generally, you will want someone to learn merchandise role, go to small store, get their CDL through the school. Uh, of course, now that I've been here for a while, we've actually added a position called trainer, where you actually get training depending on which side you go to in the beginning. So you already know most of the stuff when you transition to sides. So it makes you being flexible more capable down the road. So if you're a large store and you want to go small store, it's a little bit easier transition. You want to go from small store to large store, the same thing. It's like it's very easy to do it. And now back then, now I'm not saying it's hard. It's not the end of the world or anything. Like the way I learned it was fine, but they just kind of simplified everything now. So overall comparing it, it doesn't matter. It just depends on if you're okay getting on the truck or if you're okay just hey, I want to work some product, get my hands in there, get my feet wet, and then later on I want to drive a truck. You can do that here. You can pretty much do anything at Coca-Cola United. So I definitely recommend if you're looking at a career, go for the merchandiser. I tell you right away, either way, you're going to be doing some type of hard work. Whether you're breaking down a pallet with nothing but 12 packs, or you're on the truck and it's summertime and the pallet falls over, you got to pick it up. You got a merchandise product on both sides. It's not a huge difference. The only difference I can say is what you're driving. You either drive a semi truck or you either drive your car. And either way, you're going to have some great compensation about coming around it. Like I said, my first year, great. I made some good money. I don't think I pointed out the first year of me being a trainee. Now I started in February, so let's see if I can give you guys a decent number for 2022. So 2022 is where I had her out. I made $45,000, and so like I said, I missed one whole month because I see my first paycheck landed here in which is weird. I landed here on the third, but I was already hired by the after swore. I was definitely hired. So I got towards the end of March. I mean towards the end of February. So we could guesstimate this up to around 52,000 right there for the first year, and then like I said, the next year, 2023, I brought in gross. This is all gross. $66,804. Then, of course, 2024, which was last year. I'm going to my last step for all these. We ended at $72,954. So again, if you want to if you want me to give you a rough estimate, definitely would go around that range between 52 and $70,000, just depending on how you're working. If you're going to go get it, like if you get on a truck, you get commission, you gotta understand you're a salesman too. It's not just your salesman. It would be just me. I expect you to try to upsell, because the reason why, because when you get into these roles, you are able to jump in and have a little bit more leverage, like I do, with your customer account. So where I may not be able to close something, you may be able to, because you're seeing them more often. You're in the store with them longer. I may be in stores as well, but it's also good to have two. It's always good to have two hands in that battle, right? So if I go in, I offer something, and you go in, you offer something, one of us are going to get it more likely, right? So if you want that pallet of water, you want a pallet of 12 packs, you want something that can be a huge boost. You start seeing something sell more. That's where you guys communicate with each other, and it all just rolls into each other. That builds your experience. So it's a lot that can happen in either role. Personally, I definitely respect the company. I think the company does great with what they're doing. There are a few things I would change, but of course I'm not in that role yet, right? So, uh, overall, definitely good job, definitely good career field to get into. If you guys have any questions, though, be sure to leave it in the comments below. If you're new here, hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share this with a friend that's looking at it. But yeah, uh, I hope this answers your questions. I'll be sure to make more videos on this in the future. But other than that, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.